Well, in Hunza we have two forts. One is called Baltit and this is called Baltit fort. If enemies attack the fort, they cannot enter with the group. And that's ancient weapon in Hunza, bow and arrow.
Oh, wow.
This is renovated, right?
He was governor of Gilgit Baltistan last 5 years. China is the first country who introduced the paper money. جی السلام علیکم، میرا نام عیسیٰ کریم، میں پچھلے کوئی 22-23 سال سے ایز اے ٹور گائیڈ بالتت فورٹ پہ کام کرتا ہوں. تو جتنے بھی ہمارے فارن ٹورسٹ ہیں اور لوکل ڈومیسٹک ٹورسٹ آتے ہیں تو ان کو ہم یہاں پہ ٹور گائیڈ دیتے ہیں. تو اس میں تقریباً 30-40 منٹ کا ہم بالتت فورٹ کے اندر ٹور دیتے ہیں. اس علاقے کے بارے میں، ہمارے ہنزا کے کلچر کے متعلق، ان پہاڑوں کے بارے میں، گلیشیئرز کے متعلق، ہمارا فوڈ کے بارے میں، یہ سارا انفارمیشن یہاں پہ ہم ٹورسٹ کو دیتے ہیں. تو یہ قلعہ جو ہے بالتت فورٹ کوئی 800 سال پرانا ہے. اس سے پرانا قلعہ بالتت فورٹ ہے جو کہ تقریباً 1100 سال قدیم ہے. تو ایک حکمران کے 2 قلعے ہیں. آپ کو معلوم ہوگا کہ ہنزا جو ہے چھوٹی سی ایک خود مختار ریاست تھی. تو اس طرح دریا سے اپوزٹ سائڈ جو ہے نگیر ویلی، وہ ایک علیحدہ ریاست تھی. پھر اس طرح گلگت، چترال، سکردو، ناردرن ایریاز، ابھی جو گلگت بلتستان کہلاتا ہے، یہاں پہ کوئی 8 سے زیادہ خود مختار ریاستیں ہوا کرتی تھی. اور ہر ریاست میں بادشاہ اپنے ڈیفنس کے لیے قلعے تعمیر کرتے تھے. تو اس لیے ہنزا کے حکمرانوں نے پہلا بالتت، اس کے بعد یہ بالتت فورٹ اپنے ڈیفنس کے لیے بنوائے تھے اور ساتھ میں یہ ریزیڈنس بھی تھا. تو اتنا اونچائی پہ قلعہ بنانے کا، ویلی کے اوپر بنانے کا مقصد یہ ڈیفنس پوائنٹ آف ویو سے، تاکہ اگر کوئی حملہ کرے تو ان کا ایزی اپروچ نہ ہو. تو یہ قلعہ 800 سال پرانا ہے. ضرور اس کی فاؤنڈیشن جو ہے 800 سال پرانی ہے، لیکن پورے قلعے کی عمر 800 سال نہیں ہے. ان 800 سالوں میں جتنے بھی بادشاہ گزرے اپنے ٹیسٹ کے مطابق کمرے بناتے گئے، پھر تب یہ اتنا بڑا قلعہ. تو اس قلعے میں رہائش جو ہے 1945 تک تھی. 1945 کے بعد یہاں کی جو رائل فیملی، وہ کوئی ماڈرن ہاؤس بنا کے نیچے کریم آباد میں یہاں پہ شفٹ ہو گئے. تو اس کے بعد 1945 سے 1990s تک یہ تقریباً خالی پڑا رہا. تو اس کی ممکن دیکھ بھال نہ ہونے کی وجہ سے اس کے حالت روز بروز بگڑتے جا رہی تھی. اگر مزید دیکھ بھال نہ کرتے تو یہ کھنڈرات میں چلا جاتا. اس کو دوبارہ ریسٹور کرنے کے لیے ہز ہائنس آغا خان نے محسوس کیا، چونکہ یہ قلعہ رائل فیملی کی ملکیت تھی. جب ان سے پیشکش کی گئی تو رائل فیملی نے اس قلعے کو پبلک کے نام پہ ڈونیٹ کیا. تو یہ پبلک پراپرٹی بن گئی. پھر اس قلعے کا ایک ٹرسٹ بنا، بالتت ہیریٹیج ٹرسٹ، جو اس قلعے کی جو مینیج کرتی ہے. 1990 سے 1996 تک آغا خان ٹرسٹ فار کلچر اور آغا خان کلچر سروسز پاکستان، انہوں نے اس قلعے کی ریسٹوریشن کروائی. تو 6 سال مرمت کے بعد جو پہلے تھا اس کو ایز اٹ از دوبارہ مضبوط بنایا. फिर ये 29 सितंबर 1996 से किला विजिटर्स के लिए ओपन किया गया। तो इसकी ओपनिंग सेरेमनी पे फॉर्मर प्रेसिडेंट ऑफ पाकिस्तान फारूक लगारी साहब, हिज हाइनेस आगा खान और कोई 20-22 ममालिक के एम्बेसडर्स ने शिरकत की। फिर किला विजिटर्स के लिए ओपन किया गया हिस्टोरिकल फोर्ट प्लस म्यूजियम। तो इस किले को जिंदा रखने का मकसद ये है कि हमारी जो यंग जनरेशन है उनको अपने पास्ट के बारे में पता चले। बाहर से हमारे जो मेहमान आते हैं, टूरिस्ट आते हैं, उनको ये पता चले कि 1000 साल पहले इन पहाड़ी इलाकों में लोगों की ज़िंदगी कैसे थी, किस तरह के बर्तन यूज़ करते थे, उनका रहन सहन क्या था, उनका इंजीनियरिंग किस तरह का था, ये लोगों को पता चले। तो इस किले के अंदर उस ज़माने के सबसे बादशाह के बेडरूम्स हैं, गेस्ट रूम्स हैं, किचन हैं और रिसेप्शन हैं, समर कोर्ट, विंटर कोर्ट, इस तरह कमरे बने हैं।
वेरी नाइस। मूसा भाई, आप प्लीज़ हमारे व्यूवर्स को विज़िट करवाएं ताकि वो एक अंदर का जो कल्चर है और उसके लिए आप विज़िट।
जी, अभी जो है हम यहाँ से आगे ऊपर चलते हैं, एंट्रेंस से इंटर होके फिर वहाँ पे रिसेप्शन रूम है, फिर रिसेप्शन से होते हुए मुख्तलिफ कमरों में से होते हुए फिर इसके टॉप पे छत पे जाएंगे, फिर छत से होते हुए आगे उनके बेडरूम, गेस्ट रूम वगैरह हैं, वो देखते हुए फिर लास्ट में एग्जिट है और एग्जिट से उतर के Before our visit, I would like to give you a brief account about the historical background of this podcast. Well, in Hunza we have two forts. One is called Baltit and this is called Baltit Fort. So in ancient time, more than 8 independent states were existing in northern part of Pakistan. Now it's called Gilgit Baltistan. So all states were rival states. They fight each other for the kingdom. That's why the king of Hunza, he built Baltit and Baltit forts for defense purpose, and this was his residence as well. The rulers of Hunza were residing in Baltit first. Baltit fort is older than this fort but smaller than this. So we can see from the roof. This Baltit fort was regarded about 700 years old of locals. But according to modern laboratory test, which called carbon dating, the age of Baltit fort has confirmed 765 years in 1995. So after 20 or 30 years now we can say it's about 800 years old. But entire structure of this fort is not so old because a lot of additions and reforms have been made with passage of time. I mean in a different time they did this. According to the history of Hunza, in early 16th century, a ruler of Hunza, he got married with a princess from Baltistan, from Skardo, and she brought with her carpenters, masons, and other craftsmen who did some additions and reforms at Baltit first, and after they added a few new rooms in the Baltit fort. So you may know,
When was that?
in the 16th century. So you may know in ancient time, Baltistan was a part of Tibetan Empire. Baltistan was known as the Little Tibet. So consequently, the Tibetan architectures influenced very much in this fort. That's why it resembles a bit like the known Potala Palace, that's Tibet in Lhasa. I mean the woodwork, the structure of the fort is very similar to Potala Palace. This Tibetan influence came here from Baltistan. The second edition, in December 1891, British people entered in Hunza. So at that time, the king of Hunza, he escaped to China and he died there. British installed his younger brother as a new king. The younger brother, during his ruling time, he built especially the third floor. I mean the whitewash on the walls, stained glasses, and the new balconies. It's a quite modern up there. That's from 1891. We will visit soon there. This fort was as a living place until 1945. So in 1945, the king of Hunza, he built a modern house down there in Karimabad and he shifted there. We can see from the road. His family is still living there. But from 1945 to 1990s, this fort was empty. Nobody lived inside. Because of the less attention, this fort became very fragile. Cluster had fallen down. The walls were leaning out in different directions. Well, this is what defense.
To escape
Now,
in the war times.
if enemies attack the fort,
Yeah.
they cannot enter with the group. When they come one by one, they can make a defense. That's for security purpose. The second reason when you enter the fort, you have to bend down for respect for the king. It's called respected doors. The third reason, Hunza is a hot and dry area. Temperature was minus 10, 15 degrees to keep warm inside. That's why we have low roof and the shut doors to keep warm. That's the three reasons.
What is the temperature in June usually?
Winters?
June.
June 30, 35.
The same as now?
Yeah. So this room used to be the reception room to receive the guest. It is also called tax collecting place. In ancient time, the people of Hunza, they paid taxes for the king because there was no money, no currency. From crafts, they paid tax like a corn, wheat, and buckwheat. And those grains they stored here. This is one of the granary, the storage for wheat.
See this?
No, no, you're gonna fall inside.
Is it 3 meters deep, 6 by 6 square feet, and it's only access from here. Somebody go down there by the rope or using the ladder. I mean, only skinny person he can enter. So it cannot be stolen. That's why they make a small hole for storage purpose.
What are these?
And those are the wooden scales. This is for counting the grains, the measuring pots, like a half kg, 5 kg, 10 kg like this. That's made from wood. Polo matches. So this is the saddle for horse. And that's ancient weapon in Hunza, bow and arrow. So next room, we're going through this way. The next room is the dungeon.
Yes. Quite scary for someone like me, claustrophobic. No, I won't stand here. I will just stand. Renovated, right?
अभी मैंने बताया कि 1.5 million dollars खर्च हुए हैं, तो हमने मजबूत बनाया। डरने की बात नहीं है।
This is renovated, right?
Yeah. Not here, that side. 800 years ago, there was no light, no iron grills like this. It was totally dark, and it was a simple one room. The prisoner used to come down by the ropes and the ladders. And there was no criminals in Hunza. Still, the crime ratio is 0. They kept political prisoners here. But this was not a real fort. This was residence of the king. You can say that's the palace. That's why he kept prisoners for short time, 3-4 days or 1 week only. If they want to give long punishment, they don't hang people, they don't stay here, they exile them to remote areas. Just is 3-4 days or 1 week only here.
What type of political prisoners are?
Against the king. And the enemies as well. Bodyguards. It's connected from the roof to down here to watch outside and inside as well. Just watchtower. And this room used to be as a bodyguard room to watch outside from the windows. And after restoration, we got 3 world maps from British Library. These are the copies. So this world map is from 13th century in a Latin language. You can see how was the world at that time. The second world map is from 1550s in French. And the last map is from 1887 in English about the Great Game. You can see borders of Russians and British. So after building the Karakoram highway, the lifestyle is changed in Hunza. So there was no bazaar, no colorful dresses at that time. So people keep animals. From goat hair, they make carpets like this. And from sheep wool, they make dresses like this. So the last one, that's the traditional dress for the king. That's for winters. This is from sheep wool. And this is the dress for ladies. This is the woolen shirt. Trouser is from cotton. And skin shoes is a leather shoes there. And these small pouches is for local cosmetics. They had a black stone for eyes, like a coal. Still we use for children. It means to protect from other evil eyes, for protection. It's about 150 years old. We had a trade with China, so people bring silk from China. This is Chinese silk, and this is a wedding dress. This for bride and for groom as well. Next door is quite narrow. Please watch your head and watch your steps.
Watch out, everyone.
ये सारा ग्रुप आपके साथ ही है?
No, no, हम
हर सिर्फ इतना है।
गए थे चाइना, टैक्सी ट्रैप के में सर्टिफिकेट दिख रहा उन्होंने घुमाया था इस तरह के।
This is the winter bedroom of the king, traditional Hunza house, and scratchy planning hall as well. It's a multiple room. So for winter, they had open fireplace in the middle for cooking or the heating, and there was a hole to exhaust smoke for natural light, but it's covered now. So cooking, sitting, dining, sleeping, all in all is enough for 10 to 15 people. It's a family room. Still, we people build the same houses in Hunza, but nowadays we add bedroom, guest room around the house for our guests. But center portion is same like this. It means any wedding occasion or death occasion, the people, relatives, they get together and they can sit in one, like a TV lounge. Which one? Ya zindagi uli hikmet aşuan olsa baba. थोड़ा आगे जाएं तो ज्यादा नजर आएगा.
Mama, I want to go to the beach. Oh, they used to make it big. Oh, wow. Look at the pots. Oh, yeah.
Are you enjoying the tour or you feel boring?
Yeah, no.
Huh?
That's
So
really
come on,
interesting. Yeah, thank you.
This is the main kitchen. So in Egypt they had stone pots for cooking. When people travel to Kashmir, China, then they introduced these metal and brass pots for cooking. And three of them, those are the grinders for crushing the wheat, grain, for spices. The black stone slat is for cooking the chapati on it. And those are the pumpkins, that's for storing water. Pitha kaddu jo Punjab mein halwa banate hain. And the wooden pot is for shaking the buttermilk. Ek to mashkiza hota hai, dusra ye wooden pot. And these are the soup spoons. It's made from apricot wood. And the behind the pillar, the white one is a skin blower to make fire, is a bellow. And those are the serving plates. There was no individual plate in a family, so 8-10 people can share from same bowl. So every house have ventilation system like this to exhaust smoke and for natural light. But there was no tent, no glass to cover. If there is a heavy rain, the whole rainwater comes in. They collect the water in the big pots, and the same water they use in the washroom. Centuries ago, 300-400 years ago, behind the Baltit fort, there was a glacier. Ultar Glacier was very close to the fort. So at that time, they had a small windows from there. From glacier, the cold breezes entered. They used as a refrigerator of that time. That's called natural refrigerator. Now glacier is moving back. From here to glacier, it takes 1.5 hours by walk. So because of the global warming, is receding now. And this black color is from smoke, from cooking. Because people use wood for fire. Can you see the small wooden thing here?
Yeah. Iron.
What do you think about this?
Iron.
It's made from wood.
Wow.
वो तो जल जाएगा ना, वुड लकड़ी का है. आयरन तो लोहे का होगा.
But they used to put iron clothes with this one, no?
Yeah, this is wood.
Wood.
Wood will burn.
What they use it for?
क्या हो सकता है?
For mouse. No catching.
Warm your hands. What?
Oh, mouse trap.
ये कुड़की चूहा पकड़ने के लिए. It's a mouse trap to catch the mouse.
पुस्तक के mouse.
जब से इंसान है उसके साथ चूहा भी है.
नहीं यार इसका ऊपर आना उसको बड़ा
So now we going upstairs to the roof, please.
यार नीचे में सामान 15 मिनट तक तो सब बनी जरे 30-50 ग्राम ऊपर ना याद है
The fort, the other fort, the outside fort.
Amir, it is that one that I told you.
You don't know that.
I took a picture of that.
He's showing us.
This place, 2,500 meters. It's about 8,000 feet. And now we are in a Karapuram range. In a Karapuram range, in this region, this is the highest mountain, Rakaposhi, which is 788 meters high.
I'm thirsty.
The next, Iran Peak, which is 7,324 meters. And this, behind the Black Mountain, that's called Golden Peak or Spanti. 7,027 meters. And this direction, behind the Baltit Fort, Ultar Peak 1, Ultar 2, and behind the Black Mountain, Lady Finger and Hunza Peak. So on these mountains, to see sunrise and sunset, mostly the people go up there. That's the highest viewpoint, Eagle Nest. It takes 30 to 40 minutes by drive and 3 hours by walk
30-40 minutes from this
from
place.
here, from Karimabad.
And do you have to?
And
do you have to hike?
there's the another fort, Baltit, is older. Now is a free time for photographs. 10 minutes.
10 minutes.
There's the broken stone. The boat home goes around wall. And this is called highway, stone gate. Seeing the what is that? After 1 year, it can get 2 rains. This means this for counting the age. Damishu, Apamishu, you and Hamburg, Kaudu.
Raja this joke.
That's the pictures of Aga Khan, the spiritual leaders of Ismaili Muslim. The 46th spiritual leader, his name is Shah Hassan Ali Shah. He was in Iran and he got the title of Aga Khan from King of Iran. That's why Aga Khan first is written here. It means Your Excellency, Your Highness, the same meaning of Aga Khan. This title is continued. Now he is the current Aga Khan IV. His nationality is French. He is living in Paris, but his great-grandfather basically from Iran. So 80% donation is from him for restoration for this fort. And the king family start from here. But the history of Hunza is about 1,000 years old. But at that time there was no pictures, no portrait. This is the first portrait of Mir Ghazan Khan, ruled from 1863 to 1886. After his son became the ruler, Mir Sabdar Khan. When British people entered in Hunza, he escaped to China and he died there. Then British installed his younger brother, Nazim Khan, then his son, Ghazan Khan, then his son, Jamal Khan, the last king of Hunza. After 1974, Hunza became under the Pakistan government, and the king of Hunza, he died after 2 years, in 1976. His son, he retains the title of Mir, but no power. So after finishing the state, he became the politician. He was governor of Gilgit Baltistan last 5 years. Now he's 75 years old now. He's living downstairs in a new house. This is his wife and his eldest son. They are in the same dress. That's the ceremonial dress for the king and that's for queen. And here Hunza state flag is bow and arrow. And after Muslim, then they use moon and star. Do you know the name of the sheep? Markhor is a goat family, but this is from sheep family. In our language, we call it Rush, R-U-S-H. Rush means a huge sheep. But Italian explorer Marco Polo visited China in 13th century. When he saw the sheep, so he named to the sheep. That's why it's called Marco Polo sheep. But this is the baby horns. The big horns is 1, 2, 3 turns. So in a big horns, a fox can be sitting inside like that big. Now the rich European people, they pay $80,000 for trophy hunting for this sheep. $80,000 for one shot. If you miss it, then whole money is gone. Did you enjoy your tour?
Yes.
This summer bedroom, they used to sleep on the floor. Still 80% people, they prefer to sleep on the floor. Only 20 or 30% people, they use bed in Hunza. This hanging carpet is the throne cover to put outside of the throne for the king. And the ceiling, this is the Kashmiri design, the woodwork. And these are the old trade agreements between Hunza and China about the grazing lands and the trade, Chinese and Persian, because official language was Persian in Hunza. We people speak Brushesk language, but it was not in the written form. But now we have the written form as well. Bu mazari shotum bama pamanulu dola. Şua. This room used to be the summer balcony. You can say sunroom. So we can say sun seeking room to seeking the sun in the winter time. And but from here, this is a hanging balcony, stand on the long wooden pillars, the round balcony. But this stained glasses is from British time, from 1891. The first picture here, that's the Chinese Prime Minister tuning live with last king of Hunza, 1960s in Karachi. So people keep horses for transportation for polo matches. That's the second picture. And the fifth picture, that's outside on the throne. Last king, his son with his courtiers. And the rest of them, their cousins' pictures. At the last there, that's the Queen of Hunza. She passed away 15 years ago. She was 98 years old. And that's the first telephone in Hunza is from 1940s. So British people introduced this telephone here. The green one is a phone, and the next black one is a dialer.
Is what?
Dialer.
Oh.
I think so.
I know.
And the pipe system to exhaust smoke, but in ancient time there was no iron stove, open fireplace, and it was totally smoky house. So because of the heavy smoke, nobody can see each other. Cooking, sitting, dining, sleeping, all in one. And 2 dry fruit store to keep dry apples, apricots. The small jerry box to keep jerry and clothes. And this is a baby goat for babies, still we use for children, up to 2 years. And there is 2 Holy Qurans by handwritten the locals. I mean, in the winter time, you don't need to go out. Cooking, sitting, talking, sleeping, all in one.
Oh no, this is a nice.
And here you can see the musical instruments. Still on the wedding occasion, other festival, we use same musical instruments. China is the first country who introduced the paper money. That's the Chinese currency notes here. And there's also Chinese carpet from camel wood. It's 200 years old handmade carpet from China. And these are the Russian guns. It's a matchlock rifles made in Russia, but we got these guns in the 16th century from China. Had a friendship with China, that's why. So this room was open, there was no roof, no tent. In a rainy day, the whole rainwater comes in. But they had a drainage system to drain water.
I can sit over here.
But this tent is temporary, is in work.
इनको वहाँ तो बहुत बड़े से तरफ देते हैं फिर आपकी तरफ मशहूर तरह से जला दे आपको अच्छा ठीक है भाई फिर इंशाल्लाह
Yeah, please.
I don't want to do the camera. I'll go. So it's a very historical place, and the tour was very meaningful because it really gives you a sense of the history, the culture as well, all the confluence of different cultures that comes through here. So it's been very eye-opening and also very rewarding for us to come. So while visiting this area, so it really helped us to understand what Hunza Valley is about. So thank you for the explanation. We really enjoyed it.
Thank you.
बिस्मिल्लाहिर्रहमानिर्रहीम मेरा नाम सलाहुद्दीन मैं बाल्टिट फोर्ट का सिक्योरिटी सुपरवाइज़र हूँ तकरीबन मुझे यहाँ 24 साल अल्हम्दुलिल्लाह मुझे इस बाल्टिट फोर्ट में 24 साल मेरी सर्विस हो चुका है आपको पता है कि हमारा नॉर्दर्न एरिया हमारा गिलगित बल्तिस्तान में بہت سے تاریخی ایک یہاں فورٹ ہیں، بالٹک فورٹ، الٹٹ فورٹ، کھپولو فورٹ، شیرگل فورٹ. تو ان کو دیکھنے کے لیے بڑے شوق سے جو ہے ہمارا پاکستانی بھائی اور جو غیر ملکی لوگ ہیں یہاں تشریف لاتے ہیں. ہم بھی خوش رہتے ہیں ان کا آنے سے. ایک تو ہمارے علاقہ کا تعریف ہوتی ہے، ہمارا پاکستان کی تعریف ہوتی ہے، اور ہمارے ایک پہچان ہوتا ہے. جب یہاں آتے ہیں پہلا پاکستان کا نام لیتے ہیں، اس کے بعد جب پاکستان میں پہنچتے تو پھر گلگت بلتستان کا نام لیتے ہیں. جب گلگت بلتستان میں جب پہنچ جاتے ہیں تو پھر وادی ہنزا کا بھی نام لیتے ہیں، جن کی وجہ سے جس فورٹ کی وجہ سے آج ہمارا جان پہچان ہے. تو بہت سے ہمارا مہمان یہاں تشریف لاتے ہیں، اور الحمدللہ جو بھی آتے ہیں وہ انتہائی اخلاق ہر لحاظ سے جو ہمارا مہمان جو آتے ہیں پاکستانی بھائی، یہ ہمارا ایک پہچان ہے ہم پاکستانیوں کے لیے کہ جہاں بھی جاؤ اخلاق اور تمیز سے کسی کے ساتھ بات کرتے وقت بھی کسی سے تمیز سے بات کیا جائے، تاکہ جو ہمارا جو ہم جو پاکستانی اپنا آپ کو فخر سے ہم پاکستانی کہہ سکتے ہیں. تو ہر جگہ پہ جا کر ہم اپنا پاکستان کا ایک نام روشن کر سکتے ہیں.
Mama,